person.
Love that.
Here, I can get all the Zooms.
Love it. Wow. Okay. Here's what I think happened. So my new cyberbacker started yesterday, and they have my login information for Zoom. Yeah, and I think they did that.
That's awesome.
Isn't that awesome? So cool. Go with the flow, baby. Go with the flow. All right, so we're going to pick up right here. We are at an expired listing. We are meeting with the sellers, and we are going to have a conversation in order to determine what our game plan is. In other words, what's going to happen next. So thank you again, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, for inviting me over to view your home today. In my experience, this is just a little bit different than a for sale by owner preview. This is an expired preview. In my experience, when a home doesn't sell that should have sold, like yours, it's usually because of one of three reasons. It's either price, presentation, or marketing, and you have a beautiful home. So it was probably priced wrong, or it wasn't marketed effectively. Now, that's a pause. In other words, you're not going to just keep talking. You're going to wait and see what their response is. Now, they might be defensive and say it wasn't priced wrong. And your response to that should be, cool, I get it. And you're probably right. You may be right. And in order to determine where we need to price your home in order to sell, we would just need to look at an updated market analysis. You know, pricing is more about strategy than it is science. Now, that's a good curiosity script, because most people don't think that way. And even in a seller's market, there's strategy to getting their home sold. There's a big difference between $499,000 and $501,000. Now, it's only $2,000, and it can make the difference in selling or not selling. I'm just talking to you. That's not script, but I want you to stop and pause and talk to people and give them an opportunity to talk back to you. If you had the opportunity to sell your home, now we're going to look for motivation. If you had the opportunity to sell your home today and move to blank to be with your family, are you still interested in getting to blank? Now, it's a yes or no question, and I don't ask very many yes or no questions. Only when I think I'm going to hear yes. Don't ask a yes or no question if you think the answer might be no. I'm expecting yes. Now, what if they said no? My response to that is, really, why is that? Dig deep. It's probably a smoke screen. In other words, it's probably not the truth. It's probably just a response designed to get rid of you. Remember, sellers go to script school as well. Now, the good news is they don't have that many scripts, but that is one of them. If I could show you how I could sell your home for the highest possible market value. Now, am I telling them I'm going to get more money for their home than they were asking?
No.
No. Am I telling them they're going to get their asking price?
No.
No. If I could show you how I could sell your home for the highest, it's by the way, it's show, not tell. Big difference. If I could show you how I could sell your home for the highest possible market value in the shortest period of time, would you be interested in seeing how I can sell your home? Curiosity. Am I asking for a listing appointment? Say no.
No.
No. I am simply asking Eddie, are you curious? Are you curious to see how I can sell your home? I mean,
yes, I would be curious.
It doesn't hurt, right?
No.
No. Absolutely. The reason realtors don't get listing appointments is the way they would word this question is, if I could show you how I could sell your home for the highest possible market value in the shortest period of time, would you list your home with me? Wrong question. Wrong question. They just had their home on the market for 6 months and it didn't sell. They're not happy. That's like punching them in the face and saying, how did that feel? Would you like me to do it again? All right, skipping down. The reason that you are not getting more appointments is because you are not asking the right questions, or you are not face to face with enough sellers. The reason you are not getting more at bats, in other words, the reason you are not face to face with more sellers is because you have bought into the professionals who have told you not to go on appointment unless the seller is motivated and wants to relist their home. Is that how most real estate coaches coach? Say yes.
Yes.
Is that how most real estate coaching companies coach? Say yes.
Yes.
100%. Don't go on the appointment unless they're motivated. My response to that is baloney. Baloney. How do you really know if they're motivated unless you go meet with them? You don't. How do they really know if you're the right agent for the job unless you're face to face with them? They don't. On the phone, you're just another pushy realtor. Face to face, they're gonna like you. And by the way, that's an affirmation. And that was one of my affirmations. On the phone, I'm just another pushy realtor. Face to face, they're gonna like me. Okay, so let's get back to the previous conversation. If the homeowner says no, they would not be interested in hearing how you could sell their home, then I want you to launch a follow-up plan with at least one phone call every week for 2 months just to check in. Now, what does that sound like? So simple. Hey, Victoria, John Dietz, Keller Williams Realty, following up as promised, just checking in to see how you are, and is there anything I can do for you today? Say no.
No,
Doing good? Everything is great?
things are good.
Perfect. Well, listen, I know you don't want to put your house back on the market, so I'm not calling you to sell. I just want to stay in touch as promised, and I'll give you a call again next week.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Now, the following week. Hey, Victoria, John Dietz, Keller Williams Realty, following up as promised, just checking in to see how you are. And is there anything I could do for you today? Say no.
No.
Cool. I understand. Well, so listen, I'm just a phone call away. I know I've sent you some marketing material. So if you have any questions or if you need my help, I'm a phone call away. Otherwise, I'll call you next week.
Sounds good.
All right. Now, some of you are asking yourselves, and if I look at the chat, it's probably there. No.
No.
What if they say, stop calling me? What if they say, why are you still calling me? I told you I didn't want to list my home. My response to that is, sure, of course, Shirley, I'm not trying to list your home. I just want to stay in touch with you in case there's anything you need. I'm calling to provide value and just checking in. And if I keep calling you, I'm going to be direct. Remember, I tell people why you're calling them. You're a realtor. Hello. They know why you're doing this. I'm going to be direct and I'm going to say, Shirley, if I keep calling you, you might change your mind. If I stop calling you, you'll never change your mind. Got it? I'm a recruiter for Keller Williams, right? I call real estate agents and they tell me, John, I'm never joining Keller Williams. You don't need to keep calling me. And my response to that is, cool. I have two choices. I can either believe you and stop calling, or I can call till the end of time, and eventually you might change your mind. So I'm going to keep calling.
John,
Yes, talk to me.
do you leave a voicemail, or what if they don't? What if they just stop answering?
Always leave a voicemail.
Okay,
Always, Kevin, always leave a voicemail and follow it up with a text message.
right.
Think of it like this. Why do we farm?
Well, to basically get leads.
Mm-hmm.
To
And
lead to-
when you're sending postcards to people, what is your hope?
They're going to call you.
Well, before that,
Or they
what
recognize you when you call them.
before that, what is your hope?
They'll remember me.
There it is.
Mind
That's
share.
it. Mind share. That's it. So think of your voicemail as a postcard and you're farming.
Okay.
John, what do you do if you feel as they blocked your phone number? You have like a Google phone number, second number?
Yeah, I've never had that happen, but I've had people call the police on me before, Corey.
Me too.
Only twice. Only twice.
Once.
Yeah, you want to hear that story? So
Yeah.
the police officer called and said, so-and-so complained that you've been calling their house and they would like you to stop. And my response to that, sure, officer, of course, I will take them off my list. And at that point, I will, guys. And by the way, Mr. Police Officer, I like to keep my friends and family members updated on the real estate market, which means I send them interesting real estate information once a month, and I call every 3 or 4 months just to check in. Would it be okay if I add you to that list? Okay, so where did I leave off? After 2 months, you will scale your calls down to once every other week, then once a month, and once every 3 months forever. So Corey, eventually, in a couple years, I'm calling you once every 3 months, but I'm not going to stop calling. Now I will check the MLS to see if you've relisted the property, especially when I back it down to once a month and once every 3 months.
Yeah.
I'm going to check to see if you've relisted the property before I call. But as long as you haven't relisted your home, I'm calling.
Right.
What do I have to lose?
Mhm.
I have nothing to lose.
Right.
By the way,
John, John, I
yes.
have a question regarding what Kevin asked. When we leave the voice message,
Mhm.
then I'm just going to say I'll follow up next week and then just follow up the following week as well, even though it's a voice message?
100%. Yeah. And Corey, you'll like this one as well. Here's another voicemail. Hey, Corey, John Dietz following up as promised. John Dietz, Keller Williams Realty, following up as promised. I know I've left you a lot of voicemails, and I'm certainly not trying to be a pest. If you'd like me to stop calling, please give me a call. Otherwise, I'll call you next week.
Love it.
Like that.
Yeah. Now they're going to call you and say, stop calling. Cool. If I had a full price offer today, what would you do? You guys get that? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Most expired listings will relist within a couple weeks. Some will change their mind and not sell. Your job is simply to determine the motivation of the homeowner and follow a plan based on their motivation.
Mhm.
So, how do you determine motivation? The answer is simple, guys. It's going to be questions. What are the questions that you should ask? If your home would have sold, where were you moving to? In a perfect world, how soon would you like to move to blank? What's important to you about moving to blank? Or, so what's in Atlanta? If you decided not to sell and stay at your home, how does your family feel about that? Pause. Logic makes us think, emotion makes us act. I want them to go to emotion on that, because if I'm talking to Eddie, who's dug his heels in and he's not selling, well, Eddie's wife may not agree with that. His children may not agree with that. His parents, who live in New York, where he was going to move to if he sold his home, may not be too thrilled about that. So I want to know, how does your family feel about that? I promise you, they're not too cool with the idea. All right. If you know that the market was going to shift and the value of your home was going to decrease, would you still choose, okay, there's a typo there. Would you still choose, I can't correct. Can I correct while I'm here? Hey, that's cool. Would you still choose, I don't like what I'm going to write here, because stay in your home is an embedded command that I don't want to say. I'll fix that later. Would you still choose not to sell? Okay. If you knew that the market was going to shift and the value of your home was going to decrease, would you still choose not to sell? You know, there's 5 million homes in forbearance right now. 5 million. Eventually, those homeowners are going to have to catch up on their mortgage payments. Now, and I'm not scripting, guys. I'm just talking to you. Eventually, those homeowners are going to have to catch up on their mortgage payments. Some of those homeowners are not going to be able to do that. We are today facing another shutdown. Dade County. Broward will be next. There will be people who unemployment's going back up. There will be people who can't catch up on their mortgage payments. Now, if 2 or 3 homes in your neighborhood are foreclosed on in the next 6 months, what does that do to the value of your home?
It goes down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a fact. It's a fact.
Reality.
It is what it is. There were 3.1 million homes foreclosed on in 2008 during the worst real estate market our country has ever seen. 3.1 million. There are 5 million people in forbearance today. Unemployment is going back up. That's not a good sign. And I'm not being negative, Nancy. I'm just being honest. By the way, I don't even know who came up with the word negative, Nancy. If your name is Nancy, I'm so sorry. By the way, I'm John, right? So Dear John, I'm also known as a bathroom and all those other kind of crazy things. So it's like the worst name in the world. If you're on this call and your name is John, I'm sorry about that too. All right, if you are going to wait 6 months to relist your home, what would you do? If you are going to wait 6 months to relist your home, what would you do if you received a full price offer in the next 30 days? So I'm waiting 6 months, cool. What happens if you get a full price offer in the next 30 days? Well, I'd sell my house. If your home is not on the market, can you get that offer? Stop. You're looking for no. Now I want no. And no is the only answer. They can't say anything else. Is renting your home an option? If you did rent, what is your greatest fear? Someone moves into my house and they don't make payments and I have to evict them. Yep. Meanwhile, you're losing money every month it takes to get them out of the property. It probably takes 6 to 8 months. $3,000 a month, you're losing $18,000 to $24,000. Now, what if they do $10,000, $20,000 worth of damage and you get the property back and have to make those repairs? Are you okay with that? Again, I'm looking for no. If they say, yeah, I'm okay with that, that's not the truth. They're going to say no. And your response to that should be, well, then don't rent. If you're not okay with that, you shouldn't rent. The only person who is okay with that is an investor with multiple properties, and they understand that's part of the risk of being an investor. All right, stopping. Talk to me. Before you talk to me, you're first, Nadine, but 1 second. Before you talk to me, I just want you to understand something. We covered a very small part. I think that was 2 pages in the book that's 71 pages long. I just want you to understand how important this is. First of all, you're missing huge opportunity if you're not calling expired listings. And even though there may not be a lot of expired listings today because the market's hot, you're preparing for another season. This is like spring training and you're getting ready for the season because it's going to change. The market's going to change and there's going to be more expired listings. You might as well get really good at this now. Here's the other thing. There's a science to this. Follow the right plan and you will have massive success. Really pay attention to the details, guys. Okay, Nadine, talk to me.
So I feel like I come across as sounding like a smart ass sometimes when I'm talking to expireds, because I would get that guy that's going to say, yeah, I can handle $20,000 in costs if they tear up the place. So what I want to come back with is, okay, well, awesome. So if you can handle the 20,000, what's stopping you from moving forward with paying a commission of possibly less money than 20,000? But I stop myself. Like, what's a nicer way of saying that? Because I don't want to go to the smart ass side of me.
No, that's really good. No,
Okay.
and that person just isn't ready yet. So think of that follow-up line that we've used before, and 7 to 8 weeks before they sell their home, they get serious. Well, that person is way over here. They're just not ready yet. And remember, there's nothing you could do to change somebody's mind.
Mm-hmm.
What you can do is help them make a new decision based on new information. And sometimes, Nadine, the timing just isn't right. And sometimes you just have to say, okay, cool. So you're going to rent your property out. That's awesome. I'll give you a call back in a couple weeks and see if I can help find somebody, find a tenant for you.
Okay.
Start trying to help them rent their property. They're going to go, whoa, whoa, wait a minute. I don't want to rent my home. Okay. Yeah. But sometimes you just have to say, okay, that's cool. And I'll call you back in a couple weeks. They're just not ready. They're not ready yet. You're not going to get to change their mind. Have you ever had, if you've done what you just said you want to do, if you've done that, have you ever had anybody go, oh, you're right. So come on over and list my house?
Not come on over and list my house, but yeah, you have a point. They'll say that. They won't invite me right away though.
Okay. I don't know if it's working, keep using it. I would just, I'm going to be super nice and ask harm's way questions, lead you to pain and let you experience that.
Okay. Would you send them like a form for a background check for renters?
I might ask them if they're doing background checks. I might ask them how they feel about having strangers come in their house that they don't know. I might ask them if they pick up hitchhikers. Do you pick up hitchhikers on a regular basis? No. Well, you're letting people in your home that you don't know. You're not going to let strangers in your car. Why are you letting strangers in your house?
John, another point on Nadine's is sometimes if you try to be too smart, that could shut the door.
Oh yeah, they won't work with you just to spite you. And I don't think she's saying she's doing that.
No,
I think
no.
she's saying she wants to do that. Trust
Sometimes
me,
they
Nadine.
lead us to that. Sometimes
Yes.
they lead us. Yeah.
Yeah,
They can
yeah.
lead us to
Sometimes I want to do that as well. Trust me.
that.
John, would
Yeah.
you ever take a seller like down like a financial temperature? Like, you know, in terms of, okay, say you're willing to lose, you know, 24,000. Would you be willing to lose 50,000? Meaning,
That's a-
they, you
Go
know,
ahead.
in the sense that, you know, it just like in Bowl, when we do our financial temperature, it's that, or thermometer, it's a matter of, you know, they're saying, yeah, I'll do it for a renter. However, if they do the renter and then the market changes in 6 months, you could be up, you know, losing 50 or 70,000. How would you feel about it then?
Yeah, good stuff. You're on the right track. Just work on your questions, right? And rewrite the question in a harm's way form without it being a yes or no. Remember, don't ask yes or no questions unless it's the only option and unless you know the answer and you're going to get the answer that you want. Because they might say yes, right? And I just would want you to rewrite the question a little bit. Yeah. So I don't know, you're willing, so you're okay with losing 20. So what I'm hearing you say is if you rented your property out and worst case scenario happened and you were out $20,000, you're okay with that. Cool. And how would you feel if the market shifted and the value of your home went down 50,000 in the next 6 months? How would that feel? Just a different way of asking the question.
No, I like that. Thank you.
Okay. All right, couple ahas. What'd you hear? What are you gonna do different?
Well, for 30 and a half years, I was pre-qualifying them before I got to the house. So I'm going to change that for sure.
Yeah, yeah, there you go. And nothing wrong with qualifying. Just do it when you're face to face. I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm telling you to go on the appointment and don't judge opportunity away.
So one thing that jumped out at me, the future negative with facts and how would you feel if, you know, so 3.1 million were foreclosed in 2008 and today there's 5 million in forbearance and eventually they're going to have to pay that mortgage back and many of them will not be able to do that, blah, blah, blah. Well, that vein is, I think, really powerful. And how would you feel 6 months from now if the value of your property is severely declined?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good job, Paige. Really good job. I love the way you paraphrased everything. Another way that I asked that same question is if we had a crystal ball and we knew that the market was going to shift in the next 6 months, We knew that there were going to be a lot of foreclosures coming on the market. We knew there were going to be a lot of properties that were sold as a hardship sale. We knew the values were going to go down. Just curious, if we had a crystal ball and we knew all those things were going to happen, what would you do? Okay, yes, to Yashika. I am recording this, and yes, it will go out in an email. Guys, remember that I put all of the recordings from these calls on my Facebook page and on my YouTube page. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube page, please do. I've got a lot of work to do to catch up with Scott Leroy. Has 18,000 followers. Holy cow. I got 200. Seriously. All right. Everybody make it a great day. Get on the phone, smile, dial, 20 contacts. 20
Bye-bye.
contacts, not 18,
Thank
not
you
19,
so much.
but 20. Write those 5 personal notes. Go pop by 5 expired listings today. Knock on the front door. Leave something at the front door that's going to make them want to call you, and follow up forever. Success is simple. It really is. It's also a choice. Make it a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Today was great. Thank you.
Yes.